A hole. But that wasn't in the report. Hold on. What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder. Gunpowder? No one ever told me. A hole that smells of gunpowder. It looks like I found the hole I was looking for. Your Honor, the only logical conclusion you can make is that it must be a bullet hole. Order, order, order. This is a very grave matter. It's best we correct the court record first before anything else. Sorry about that. I guess we messed up, sir. Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That, just now, was a fluke, nothing more. How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight. Well, I agree that it is a mistake on the part of the police. What Prosecutor Von Karma has said is true. The evidence still stands. If you do not find more definitive problem with the evidence, then... No way. Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony. Yes, sir. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, wasn't fighting back. See, now that's sort of... Because now that we see there were 2 gunshots. So, now that we see there's a hole inside of the clothing, which looks like a gunshot. Maybe he was fighting back. Maybe that's what the first gunshot was. Well, first I'll press on the statement, because that's usually a safer option, but that's what I'm thinking. He wasn't fighting back? How do you know if he was or wasn't? Yeah, that's... We can find no evidence that the victim put up any sort of struggle, pal. Huh. So did the murderer have a fight with the victim or not? Depending on this, the circumstances around this murder changed drastically. We're in for real trouble now. If only I had something to prove that the victim did fight back. That Von Karma, she thinks she can decide the verdict with this testimony alone. I have to somehow find a critical condition, and then I'll have her. And it's over here. There we go. Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yeah? Having you call me by my full name is kind of a weird feeling. You said my client killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Yeah, I did. Then what, may I ask, is this bullet hole you police overload supposed to mean? What does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means that the victim had fired off a shot. Is this what it means to not fight back? You're right. It would seem that way. If the victim tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything. Alright, the wind seems to be shifting. Huh. What's with that "are you finished yet" laugh? Are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Miss Von Karma. It seems that Maya Fey was shot at by the victim. However, that is the only grounds to support a justified self-defense plea. That is correct. But I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, what the defense clearly said. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty. Oh, shit. Now that why, that's right. Which means, the defense has yet to prove anything at all. Oh, shit. Well, yes, that's true. Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense. Huh? How so? She gonna say there's no injury? Oh, whoops guns you to make him say it. Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information we acquired added in, of course. Huh? You mean by myself? You want me to put together a scenario all by myself? Yes, sir. Right away, sir. During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but they were too close. He missed. The defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. Huh. The scenario you have put together does make sense. Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright? Just by listening, it does make sense. However, I won't give up that easily. Please refrain from glaring at me like that. Now then, your cross-examination, please. There's quite a difference in height between Dr. Gray and the defendant. Add in body strength, and it seems unlikely the defendant could have stabbed the victim. Now that you mention it, yeah, I guess. You think you can get away with such flimsy reasoning, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Maya Fey was in the middle of channeling, was she not? When channeling with the Korean channeling technique, the medium physically changes. Oh god, she knows all this? Oh, okay, this is a little harder. With the nurse's build, the defendant could have easily been a match for the doctor. I don't believe it. She even studied up on the Korean channeling technique. Well, she isn't a prodigy for nothing, though. Like I said before, I am perfect. I am legend. What were you talking about? I didn't quite get it. Never mind. Let's continue with the testimony. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. I guess I'm just impressed for now. See if I can get out of here. So he was stabbed, but the stab wound didn't kill him. But if you think about the blood loss, it was pretty bad. How bad would you say it was? Actually, I went to get blood the other day, and afterward, I felt a little lightheaded and dizzy. I guess the damage was maybe about 10 times the dizziness? Sorry. Man, Gumshoe's just getting his ass kicked. Two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. Where in the world did that pistol come from? It looks like the victim, Dr. Gray, had specifically bought it for that day. But, a handgun? He got it off the black market about 2 days before the murder. Why did Dr. Gray bring a dong? Yes, bring a dong. Why did he bring a gun? Was he taking precautions against something? Yeah, that's kind of suspicious. He got it off the black market, too. Victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. If we look at this... So, it got shot... Oh, wait, check details. So, it wasn't really a... Well, it was kind of a miss. That's the sleeve, I think, right? Somewhere around there? But if he was... They were too close. Didn't they say something about that, the gunpowder burn or something? If they were too close? Is there... But they didn't say anything about gunpowder burn on this. He just said he could smell gunpowder. Unless they were referring to gunpowder burn, but I don't think they were. Well, first I'm gonna press, and then I'll think about that. So you're saying that the bullet hole in this costume was made then? Sorry, pal, but that's what I think. The two of them were already fighting when a shot was fired. Maya, I'm really glad you weren't hurt. The defendant then picked up on the opening and took the victim's gun and ended it. Maya has never fired a gun before in her life. The victim had already taken off the safety. With the safety off, even an amateur like you can fire by pulling the trigger. Even me, I wonder. Takes a little bow. Now do you understand? Von Karma's logic is perfect. His testimony certainly makes us look very bad. But there's gotta be a contradiction in there somewhere. And uncovering it is going to uncover the truth. I can feel it. So that's all I could think of right now. Is at least... yeah, maybe the gunshot wasn't taken while they were close, which would disprove his whole theory he had crafted. Because there wasn't any gunpowder the residue or whatever the... Missing the tiny hole in his costume will be the prosecution's undoing. Huh? What did you mean? This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point blank. If that were true, then where would... yeah, there. That's what I was thinking of. Then where's the gunpowder burn on this costume? Because they didn't mention that at all when they were looking at it and taking a closer look at it. And they didn't say anything about that. Gunpowder burn? This is what you testified earlier. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Oh. Gumshoe already forgot his statement from earlier. But there's not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume. That is a very good point. And what exactly does this mean? It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other. Huh. I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? With wishy-washy thinking like that, anyone can explain anything. Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of their fight, the victim pushed the defendant away. And it was then, when they were separated, that he fired. How was that? As if that was even possible. According to the testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far after that. Oh god, what was that? Animation. Well then. That's right, the defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. And then, while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took a shot. There. That should satisfy even you. Huh. Does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright? I must be careful. I can't afford to make a mistake here. Concentrate and think. Something doesn't make sense. I'm trying to figure out what doesn't make sense. Something sounds wrong there, and I'm thinking what is. So there's a bullet hole in that with a hole in it. If I remember correctly. There's also a hole in that. Huh. So if that was in the sleeve... But there was 2 gunshots. One killed him, and the other went through the sleeve. But this is also a bullet hole that had to have gone through... Would it have gone through both of them? Like the sleeve and... Something doesn't make sense. There's a fatal flaw in your argument, Your Honor. Fatal? Flaw? Yo, very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. And when she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. Must be a piece of evidence that contradicts this line of thinking. See, that's really low to the ground. And when they're doing... And if... Maybe when the gunshot went off, it went through the sleeve and through this at the same time. So there's only two... So there would only be 2 shots with that. But if she was doing that, then she would have to be really, like, really low to the ground. So... She wouldn't have been preparing to strike. So sad. Oh man, this is all I can think of. Yeah, I'm gonna... Let's go with this for now. Take a little risk. This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic. What is that? A folding screen? I'd like to point the court's attention to the hole in this folding screen. It looks like you already know what I'm talking about. Who? What? Where? Who am I again? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please. Are these two really that clueless? The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through at the height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means... Yeah, that she was really close to the ground. When the shot was fired, Maya, I mean the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but actually squatting low to the ground. Order, order. This changes everything. Please look at the diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired the shot. The bullet hit this folding screen. In that corner, yeah, over there, wow. It hit this location about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area. So it would be like over here, right? Like right here-ish? No, that's the table thing with the flowers on it. Should be like over here then, yeah. So here's the hole. It was in her sleeve. She was over here then. Wait, unless she was over here. No, she was on this side now. Yeah. So she'd be like right here. Oh god. I don't know. Okay, maybe right here? I hope I'm not messing this up too badly. Like right there, maybe? I hope that's right. She was standing here near the folding screen. Wait a sec. We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole, but how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was just standing much closer to the victim? That's impossible. But why? You, of all people, should know the answer to that question, Miss Von Karma. If she were shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder burns present. However, there's nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of this costume. Curse you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You. Huh. I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing a ways from the victim when she was shot at. But do you think this has changed the defendant's situation? It changes everything. Honestly, Your Honor, this changes everything. The prosecution has claimed that the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with the knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at that time? Squatting all the way by the folding screen? Exactly. If Maya Fey was the real murderer, why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike? Upon further consideration, it does make very little sense. Yeah, I figured there had to be a reason. Figuring things out proves your logic behind everything is your job. And proving the logic behind everything. Oh. Alright, with this, the rest of the trial should be in the... oh god, she's back. Blast radius of disaster. You're such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix, Wright? To think that you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amuse me. You don't want to amuse her. Probably involves a lot of BDSM, and it's not going to be a fun time. Of all the things to inherit, why did it have to be that smarmy smile? Detective, how dare you damage my perfect logic? Huh? How is it my fault? You could start repairing your standing by first removing your 3-strand goatee. Oh god. No! Oh, and rest assured, your punishment will come later. You can't make him shave that. Punishment? Well then, Your Honor. I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness. Next witness? It's gotta be Lada. Very well. The court will now take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we will hear from the next witness.